This is a PowerSmart pressure washer, and for the last couple of days I've had a lot of fun pressure washing basically everything. Today though, I will show you 5 ways this tool is super useful for any car guy. I used to own an electric pressure washer and that one felt more like a toy. So I decided to get this gas model as it promises 3400 PSI max pressure. Anyway, let's unpack it and put it all together. We have the handle, soap bottle with nozzles, the engine and the pump assembly, high pressure water hose, and a bag of smaller stuff. We get a little funnel, a spark plug socket, some bolts and nuts, and of course the manual with a weird pin on the back. Not really sure what that's for. However, the manual is very useful as it shows us how to put it together as well as the technical data. So clearly this unit comes disassembled, but here are all the parts, and honestly it shouldn't take us more than 5 minutes to put all of this together and get it running. First we're going to install this stand. Then we got to assemble the handles. And now we just push the handles into the main unit. And with just a couple of these bolts and hand nuts, we can make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I assume this tube goes in here. The water gun assembly is as simple as can be. Just screws in at the end here. As per the manual, as well as the instructions right here, we have to fill it up with oil. So let's take off this plug right here, take this little funnel in and fill it with oil. All right, let's check, wipe it off. So has to push it all the way in. Looks like we are just touching the low side, so I'm gonna add a bit more. Oh no, I spilled some. Good thing I have a pressure washer to clean this off later. All right, so now it looks pretty good. We are almost at high. Time to put in some gas. By the way, I hate these non-spill cans. They spill every single time. I think they'll do. Just quickly gonna connect the gun here. Honestly, all of this is so self-explanatory. I love it. And lastly, the garden hose. So the water hose goes in just right here. And we're gonna screw it in as well. We're ready to go. That was easy. The first and the most obvious way of using a pressure washer as a car guy is to wash your car. I'm just getting really tired of going to those brushed car washes that are scratching the paint on my car, so I want to see if I can do a half decent job with just wetting the car using this foam cannon that I got for like 15 bucks on Amazon, letting the soap sit on the car and then washing it off with a pressure washer. Will that do a decent enough job to where I don't have to go to the brushed car washes every week or so? Well, let's give it a try. To wet the car, I'm going to be using the widest angle, so the lowest pressure nozzle, which is going to be this white one. Of course, you can use the black one, which is for soap, but I'm going to be using the little cannon, the foam cannon for the actual soap. This will be just to wet the car, so it's going to have the wider spread of water, so it's not going to be as damaging to the paint. And of course, you want to keep your distance. You definitely don't want to be 5 or 6 inches away from the car. You want to keep it farther away just to get the car nice and wet. And I know the car didn't look that dirty from that angle, but look at it. We had the car parked under a tree for a couple of days and there is a lot of bird stuff and debris on the car. So let's see how well it works. All right, the car is wet now, so we're going to switch from this nozzle, from the white nozzle, to the foam cannon. There it is. Open that up just a little bit and we're gonna give it a go. Oh, look at that. This is working great. After using this for a while now, I really appreciate the 10-inch wheels and tires. Makes it super easy to move around since it's not very light at 66 pounds. This pressure washer has a 4-stroke 212cc overhead valve engine with a 2.5 gallons per minute axial pump and an onboard soap tank. We also have these nozzles and each one does something different, and well, it's perfectly explained here in the manual. So we have the red, yellow, green, white, and black. The black is the soap one, so that's going to be that one right there. Red is for metal and concrete. Yellow is for driveways, grills, bricks, unpainted bricks, stucco, stuff like that. So basically it goes from the harshest and most powerful one to the least powerful one. I really like how easy it is to swap between different nozzles or even a foam cannon like this. You just do that and then put the new one in. That's it. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. Let's wash it off and see the result. And in less than 15 minutes, including the wait time, the car is now washed. I mean, yes, I'll probably need to dry it and maybe apply some wax or something like that to make it nice and shiny, but all that bird stuff is gone. The car is looking much better, and we did it in our driveway. What a great way to do it. That's a win in my book. If you're a car guy, then the second best use for a pressure washer is to clean your engine bay. You want it to look pristine and not like this. I've been neglecting it just a little bit, so we're gonna give it a nice clean right now. Yes, you have to be careful. There are a lot of electrical components here, and you do not want to apply direct pressure to any of the connections. But if they get a little bit wet, that's fine. And of course, after, we're gonna let it all dry out before we start the engine. And there you have it. The engine is now much cleaner, so I'm just gonna dry it off a little bit with a leaf blower. And after about 2 minutes of drying, there's still a lot of water, of course. We're gonna let it air dry for a couple of hours before we drive the car. That looks so much better, especially these areas right here. All the grime, so it's like this is what it looked like everywhere. I didn't get this part, obviously, but everywhere else, look at that. The third best use for a pressure washer as a car guy is to clean your interior. No, I'm not going to be spraying the interior of my car, but I will be washing our floor mats. So I have this carpet one, so this is like the OEM BMW one. I also have these winter ones, so this will be just like rubber, so rubber floor mats. But I also have this aftermarket floor mat from my X7, and I'm going to be spraying them with the same foam as I did the car, and then pressure washing all of them, and you will see the result. It's going to look so much better and a lot less effort than scrubbing it with a brush or just vacuuming them out. They're going to look way better. Let's go. Look at all that dirt coming out. A couple of minutes later, we can rinse it off. Literally years of dirt coming off there. This is so much easier to do than just scrubbing them by hand. And look at it. There was so much brown water coming off of this one. Years of dirt and grime. This one was pretty easy. And this one's actually looking really nice. It's looking basically brand new. So people were wondering how these Weramat floor mats are doing after 2 years and 2 winters in Chicago. Look at them. They look brand new. So I'm just gonna put them in a little bit of a drier area. And check out this floor mat. It's been drying for a couple of hours now. It looks brand new. Brand new. Number 4 on my list is cleaning up old parts as well as wheels and tires. So if you're like me and you like to switch your winter tires for summer tires and have the best combination for the season, well, that means you're storing some wheels and tires either in your garage, shed, or whatever else. So normally they look like this when you take them off at the end of the season, and a good way to keep them clean is to use a pressure washer. Yes, you can do a lot of scrubbing, but that's a lot of work. If you want to sell a set, well, nobody's going to buy wheels and tires that look like this, so it's a good idea to clean them. Also, if you sell off old parts, it's a good idea to power wash them so they look the best they can. When I rebuilt the engine in my BMW 335, the N55 engine, well, there was a lot of parts left, and I sold a bunch of them on eBay and made most of my money back, actually. So getting little parts like this, cleaning them, and then putting them up for sale will actually give you a good profit. For the wheels and tires, I just got this very cheap, intense foam wheel and tire cleaner. It was like $4 at AutoZone, so I'm just gonna wet this, as usual, spray it down, maybe give it a very light rub with a brush just to agitate stuff, and then wash it off. But it'll be a lot easier than just doing it by hand. That already looks great. Let's flip it over. And look at that. Doesn't look so much better. Minimal effort, took me 5 minutes. And it looks brilliant. Now, if you wanted to sell it, I mean, look, there's no dirt on the inside of the wheel or anything. It would take forever to do this by hand. Number 5 on the list is gonna make your wife happy, especially since you just spent 3-4 hours outside power washing everything that you can imagine. So what we're gonna do is clean up the driveway. So I'm gonna power wash this driveway and probably the little sidewalk over there as well. Make it look nice and remove any of the oil stains or anything else that I have caused in the past by changing oil on the driveway and any kind of spills that I've had in the past. Of course, if you do these things in the garage and there's oil stains in the garage, this is a great way to get those out as well. You may not get everything out, but you're gonna make it look a whole lot better. Now that you have seen my 5 ways this tool is super useful for any car guy, what do you think? What other uses do you have for this tool that are car related? I would love to hear that in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments down below with any other suggestions as well. Subscribe to the channel for a lot more car content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.